to our section. Today we are going to talk about the sagittal cross section of the brain. We are just going to look at part of the brain of this cross section. As we already know some parts of the brain, the cross section of the brain within our previous video, today we are just going to look at how it is. So we just take the part of it and we just look at how it is. We know that the cortex, as we spoke in our previous video, which is the brain surface, which have the gyri and the valley or the sulci. That is what we are seeing here. So that is what we are looking at first. So let's look at the cortex. So the cortex is this side of the brain. I think you can see all the sides of the brain, which is the cortex. And when it was bisected in our previous video, we saw the part of it. So now let's look at how it is. So this is how it is. So this is our cortex, the cerebral cortex. Yes, and the surface of the brain. So that is the surface of the brain. So as we've already named the part of it, now we are not naming the part, but we are just looking at the cross section area of the brain. So we can just look at all these things. They are all part of the cortex. Anywhere I click is part of the cortex. Now let's look at the other one, the ventricle. So we've seen the ventricle also here. So now we've seen the ventricle also here. So that is our third ventricle. And we know that the ventricle is also a space within the brain. So there are the spaces between or within the brain, the spaces within the brain. Okay, so let's look at the other part of the our cross section today. Let's look at our brain stem. So you've seen our brain stem, which the pons. So we've seen our brain stem, how the brain stem is. Then, so we can see how our brain stem is, the arrangement of it from your medulla oblongata to your pons or your brain stem. Yes. Then the next one we can talk about is your cerebrum. So the next one we can talk about is your cerebrum. So this is how the cerebrum is. So this is how the cerebrum is. So thank you for joining us in our video. We'll see you next time in our next cross section. Once we are learning the brain, just take a seat, subscribe to our channel, forward it to others. Don't forget to also add it to your favorite so that anytime you can watch this video.